Hello everyone. The light there is a bit too much. There we go. I cannot fix the light because the sun keeps coming in and out of clouds. I'm a bit, yeah, there's not much I can do there. Hello everyone. My name is Jocelyn, you may call me Joy, and before I start with this train of thought, stream of consciousness, battle of the minds, the wills kind of video, I do have to point out this, my pashmina, goes very nicely with this. My patchwork skirt that I bought whilst I was away camping. I just had to point that out. You can't appreciate the whole outfit when I'm sitting down. Anyway, let's talk about Pride, shall we? So, June officially is Pride Month everywhere. However, in this town, the Pride event happens in July. It will be later this month. For those of you who are watching in the future, you know, this is about 2 weeks away from now, and I don't think I'm gonna go, which you might think is rather surprising considering all the Pride events that I have been to that you can see videos for on the channel, and the fact that I do tend to love Pride. I do of course believe that Pride is very important to myself, to the whole community. Like, what's the problem here? Well, after a conversation between myself and the person who I am currently dating, let's just say I've come to the conclusion that I am conflicted about Pride. I do love Pride events. I love going to them and showing the world that we will not be suppressed. We accept ourselves. We desire, require, insist that the whole world accepts who we are. And if you don't like it, tough titties, right? That's the whole idea behind Pride. That is why it was started in the first place, lest we forget that Stonewall was a riot because the police were doing the bidding of unjust laws that were suppressing gay freedom, gay liberation, trans freedom, trans liberation, and the laws in certain countries are still doing that. So having Pride is essential for showing those countries, those places, that having restrictive laws is against the best interests of the people who are thriving in places where these laws do not exist or are less restrictive. And I do feel like celebrating how far we've come as a community is not a bad thing. We can celebrate. We can absolutely indulge in some diversity, some inclusions, and let's have some drag queens performing in public, because that is itself not a bad thing. There is more acceptance publicly now. There is sort of more protections, more anti-discrimination laws than there have ever been, except for the US, which seems to be moving in a regressive direction. You know, there's equal marriage now. And also just existing as a happy individual, being okay with who you are, with your, you know, partner of the gender that you are attracted to, or being yourself in the gender that you are on the inside as well as the outside. Like being happy, being okay with yourself is a form of sticking it to your oppressors and haters and people who want nothing more than to eradicate us. These are called fascists. However, trans people living in a country nicknamed Turf Island really don't have that much to feel good about, to celebrate. The anti-discrimination laws that we have are slowly being eroded. Access to medical transition is functionally blocked for a lot of people, and the waiting times are ridiculous. Like, transphobes publicly online and in political spheres are very prominent these days. They've been very vocally vitriolic. There are MPs forging transphobic laws. For example, in this country, there still is not any protection for trans people under the ending conversion therapy law, which only seeks to end conversion therapy for people based on their sexuality, but not their gender identity. I want to talk a little bit about rainbow capitalism. So Pride has become, over the past 50 years, corporatized. And this is not just antithetical to the entire movement. Again, it originated as a riot. There was destruction of property, not selling of useless plastic junk. Rainbow capitalism has its problems. It has its upsides as well. A surface level of acceptance is better than no acceptance at all. But it is still capitalism. It is still exploiting workers, selling junk to consumers. This is not a good or healthy or useful practice for the planet. If you weren't going to buy that thing in the first place, why would you suddenly be compelled to buy that thing now that there's a rainbow slapped on it? The fact that there is a market for rainbow-themed things, that it is acceptable enough in society to do that, and that it is profitable, shows you that there is a level of acceptance societally that is good. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. That is a good thing, that society has reached that level, and rainbow capitalism is more of an indicator of where we are rather than a goal for where we ought to be. However, we have seen this year that this surface level of acceptance, this surface level of support by corporate companies is conditional because of what happened to Target in the US. They pulled their LGBT plus lines of merchandise because they were threatened by conservatives, fascists, threatening to do X, Y, and Z thing because they had Pride merch. That's it. And the rising fascism in the US is very worrying. Not just for the corporate companies involved, but mostly just for the individuals living their lives on the streets. Like, you never know who or what is going to target you, pun not intended, for simply being queer, gay, trans. Another upside to Pride is that, again, It's more of an indicator of where we are in society rather than a goal that we need to attain, that we need to seek to achieve, is that larger pride events, such as the one in Cardiff recently, such as London, West Hollywood, you know, across the world, there are acts there. There are like big celebrity names putting on performances who visibly, actively support LGBTQ plus rights by being there. It's not just a publicity stunt for some of these people. I dare say it probably is for some celebrities, don't get me wrong. The whole cult of celebrity is rather fickle as it is anyway. But I know, based on interviews with certain celebrities, certain performers, that they really do enjoy being icons of the gay world. They love having gay friends, gay relatives. So it's more than just surface level for some people. Some of my best Pride experiences have been the ones where I go with friends. We go, we march, we have fun, we celebrate a nice sort of public holiday almost vibe. I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing. Like, we deserve to celebrate, we deserve to have fun, we deserve to, you know, kick back and enjoy life whilst being true to ourselves publicly. Again, that's not a crime, nor should it be in any country. That is the point of holding Pride events. The thing that stops me from being so wholeheartedly supportive of this year's Pride in Taunton specifically is that it's a ticketed event where tickets cost money. Last year, Pride was a ticketed event, but the tickets was free. And I do understand that the volunteers who do put a lot of time and effort into making Pride run, they deserve something for that time and effort. However, this sort of brings it back round to the whole rainbow capitalism kind of conversation, because Pride is not really a thing that's supposed to be corporatized. It's not supposed to be sponsored by anyone. It is a march for rights and for freedoms, and yeah, okay, it's celebrating how far we've come. It's also showing the world where we need to be. We have not yet finished fighting for our rights, for the rights of other people abroad, for wider acceptance. Again, I'm not really talking about like bigots here. Like, bigots will probably never accept us fully. That is a fact. And trying to change their minds is an exercise in futility. It's good that they feel so much the victim now, because they feel like they can't share their homophobic, transphobic, queerphobic views and opinions in public because, oh my god, the woke mob is coming to get me. Which, no, we're not. But I'm happy that they feel so paranoid about their terrible views. We are just people trying to exist, trying to live our lives. Like, there is nothing shameful, or there ought to be nothing shameful about that. So, last year I understand about tickets, because the event itself was a march through town and then an event in the park. This park is a finite area. You can only fit so many people within this space, and tickets were there to make sure that there weren't too many people for the space. Like, you could, without exploiting the fourth dimension, which we haven't yet able to sort of do, there is a finite amount of space there. Like, I get the need for tickets for like keeping control of the numbers of people. Last year, a co-worker of mine got my ticket for me because the website was just so junk. I couldn't navigate it, and you know, I'm not exactly computer illiterate. But this time there's money involved, and I feel like I really shouldn't have to spend money to march down a street that I can walk down any other day of the year for free, enter into a park that I can enter into any other day of the year for free. And it does kind of bring back that whole rainbow capitalism thing of, aren't you so wonderfully privileged to be able to afford this thing that is built off the backs of actual protests? Doesn't sit right with me. But I do like Pride and I do like spending time with friends, but it's kind of, some of its meaning has washed away. In fact, a lot of its meaning has kind of washed away. And it is also an excuse for the UK government to pat themselves on the back and say, aren't we brilliant? We have Pride events in our country. Aren't we so wonderful and inclusive, and we say all the right things, but we're still going to like make transphobic policies that hurt trans people. We're not going to deal with any of the issues within the NHS to allow trans people to get healthcare. We're not going to ban conversion therapy outright for everyone within the LGBTQ plus community. No. It's just the gays, the lesbians, and the bis. Like, everybody else can. Those are the reasons why I feel like I probably will not go to Taunton Pride this year. And that is also why I believe that we have a long way to go still, and we need to bring back the political face and the political issues to Pride, to the whole movement. Like I did last year. I went wearing my Harry Potter t-shirt, and on the back I had that picture of Daniel Radcliffe saying trans women are women, because that is a thing that he actually said, as a sort of pushback against the horrendous things that Joanne has said and continues to say from her expensive castle in Scotland. Putting all these thoughts together in a cohesive video is going to be a pain in the bitch. Because I kind of went off on some tangents and there's some things that are in the wrong order. And anyway, that's all from me for now. Tell me what you think. Should I go to Pride? Should I not go to Pride as a matter of principle? Does it even matter that much? I don't know. But what I do know is that non-binary is valid, goddammit. See you soon.